Good morning, I'm Daniela, Culture and Linguistic Mediator of Dimora d'Abramo. I'm doing this recording in order to give you some information concerning the procedure for the emergence of labor relation and regularization. This information I address in particular for non-European citizens that are already employed or are seeking for employment. The period and limit of the law enforcement goes from the 1st of June to the 15th of July 2020. There's no limit of number of persons who can access the emergence procedure. Therefore, with having the requirement, it is possible to assess the application for the regularization throughout the period provided. There are three working sectors involved: agriculture, livestock, animal husbandry, fishing, hydroculture, and related activities. The second sector states for personal assistance for themselves or members of their family, even if not cohabitating, suffering from pathologies or disabilities that limits their self-sufficiency. The third sector involves domestic work to support family needs. There are two emergence channels that can be followed. The first, comes when it is decided to regularize the position of a worker already in force in one of the three sectors of employment concerned but currently without a regular employment contract, or rather decide to establish a new employment relation through the regular sign of an employment contract. The second channel can when it's decided to regularize the administrative status of a foreign citizen who previously had a residence permit that has now expired. Concerning the first channel, it can be activated by employers of an Italian citizen or employments of a European citizen or a non-European foreign nation only if he holds an EC residence for long-term residence, that is the ex-residence card, and consists of, as I said, the regularization of an existing employment relationship in one of the sector concerned, but currently without a regular employment contract, or the establishment of a new employment relation through the regular sign of a contract. What happened during the regularization process? The worker can immediately perform the work in one of the mentioned sector in the emergence procedure. Criminal and administrative proceeding resulting to the entry and irregular stay in the territory of the state at the expense of the foreign national shall be suspended. Where to submit the application? The employer and the employee must submit the application online on the website nullaosta al lavoro.dlci.interno.it by authentication through SPID, Public Digital Identity System. Following the submission of the application, the SUI, Prefectural Immigration Help Desk, will proceed to verify the admissibility of the application with acquisition of the opinion of the police station, which verify whether there are impediments, and the opinion of the National Labor Inspectorate, which verify the adequacy of the employer's income and purpose of the employment contract. If all the requirements are incorporated, the SUI sums the party to sign the residence contract and the completion of the application for the residence permit for employment reason. Concerning the worker requirements, the application for emergence regularization may only concern foreign nationals who are present on the Italian territory before the 8th of March 2020 and without ever having left the nation territory after that date. To prove such presence in the territory, can be proved by the photo signaling to which the citizen must have been undergone before 8th of March 2020, the present declaration made before the 8th of March 2020 by the foreign national who has entered the country for short periods. This statement is made by the foreign national by the following ways. The foreign national from Schengen country must have made a declaration of presence to the official police in charge, questore, of the province in which they are located within 8 days of entering in Italy. The foreign nation for non-European Schengen country must have fulfilled the obligation of declaration of the present by presenting themselves at the border crossing points and must have the Schengen stamp fixed on their travel document, the passport. Certification and documentation with specified dates and coming from public bodies. The worker shall not be subjected to the immediate procedure if is an order of an expulsion ordered by the Minister of Interior, ordered by the Prefecture for periculousness, and have been convicted, even if not definitive, for one of the offences provided in Article 380 of the Code of Criminal Procedure, for offence against personal freedom or offence related to drugs, aiding and abetting illegal immigration, or for crime aimed at the recruitment of persons for prostitution or the exploitation of prostitution, or of minors to be employed in illegal activities. The person if the person has been issued a warning for the purpose of not admission in the country, whether is deemed a threat to public order or state security. In order to assess the emergency procedure, the employee must have a passport or equivalent title. Concerning the employer requirement, the employer can be an Italian citizen, an European citizen, or a non-European foreign national who is holder of an EC residence permit for long-term residence, the ex-residence card. And the employer must prove to have an economical capacity to hire the worker. The relative income limits will be established by a specific ministerial decree. To activate the regularization procedure, the employer will have to pay a flat rate contribution of €500 for each worker relating to the cost of procedure. The employee will then have to pay an additional lump sum payment as a remuneration, contribution, and taxes. This amount will be established by a specific ministerial decree. The employer cannot fill an application for emergence if he has been convicted, and even if it's not definitive, in the last 5 years for aiding and abetting illegal immigration to Italy and from Italy to other countries, for offence aimed to the recruitment of persons for prostitution, exploitation of prostitution, or of minor to be employed in illegal activities, for the offence of imposition of maintain on the condition of servitude or slavery, for inflict indetermination and exploitation of labor, and for having employed workers without a residence permit. Hiring an irregular worker without a residence permit proceeding for illegal employment of labor relating to person involved in the emergency procedure are suspended. Such proceeding will be archived, and even if the procedure should not be successful for reason not attributed to the employer. what you get after being regularized. The worker who assessed the emergency regulation procedure obtained a residence permit for employment purpose on the same duration of the employment contract. Case of closure and rejection of the application. The parties, employer and worker, fail to appear without justified reason to the call. The employer does not sign the residence contract or does not proceed with the hiring of the worker, except that the failure of the signed requirement is not due to the force measure not attributed to the employment. So if he doesn't go, but it's not on him willing, okay. Concerning the second emergency channel, it can be activated only if you are a foreign national who has already been granted a residence permit and the following condition exists. The residence permit must be expired on the 31st October 2019 without having been obtained a renewal or conversion, meaning that the regularization can be assessed if the requirement for a renewal or conversion has not been concluded with the release of the residence permit. That the foreign national must be present on Italian territory on the date of the 8th of March 2020 without having left the national territory after that date. The foreign national must have worked before the 31st October 2019 in one of the 3 work sectors involved in the regularization. This work must be proven by providing a documentation by the National Labour Inspectorate. If the above conditions are met, the foreign national will be able to activate the application procedure for the issue of the 6 months residence permit upon the payment of a flat rate or contribution of €130 for the cost of the procedure, to which an additional fee will be added to the maximum extent of €30 defined by the special minister decree. The temporary residence permit will be valid only in the national territory and will not allow the person to perform work activity only in the work sector concerned the regularization. This means that the person cannot work in other sector than the 3 mentioned above. Where to apply? The application must be submitted to the territory police station. The foreign nation request of the issue of the temporary residence permit for a period of 6 months, enclosed with an application are the documentation providing his work prior of the date of 31st October 2019 in the 3 working sector concerned. The request will be also sent to the National Labour Inspectorate, who checks the document provided. At the time of filling the application, the police station issue to the foreign national a certificate that certifies the correct submission of the application. The certificate allows the foreign national to stay in the national territory and to work in the 3 working sector concerned. Again, with the certificate, the foreign nation can request the conversion of the temporary residence permit. What happens after the expiry of the temporary residence permit? Upon the expiry of the temporary residence permit, the foreign nation can request the conversion in one of the following conditions exist. If you can prove to have engaged work in one of the 3 sectors concerned during the period of validity of your permit of stay, may show a regular establishment of an employment contract, and if there are conditions referred to the Article 30, Paragraph 1, letter C of the Law 286 of 1998, and can therefore obtain a residence permit for family reason. Thank you.